Here is the part of this story that nobody is telling you. 6 months ago, Rotimi Amaechi issued a public statement on the record through his media aide saying, and I quote the sentiment, "Amaechi is not running to be anyone's vice president. He is running to be president of Nigeria." Politicians were told firmly to stop linking his name to any running mate slot. That was December 2025. Today, the same Rotimi Amaechi is reported to be Atiku Abubakar's chosen running mate on the ADC presidential ticket for 2027. So the question is not whether the AA ticket is real. The question is, what happened between December and June that changed Amaechi's calculation? Because the answer to that question tells you everything about the state of Nigeria's opposition and whether it is strong enough to actually win. Before we go further, if you're new here, Naija Brief exists for one reason: to give Nigerians the political analysis that mainstream media won't. Whether you're in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, or London, this channel is for you. Hit subscribe and stay with me. This gets deeper. To understand the Atiku Amaechi development, you need to go back to May 25, 2026, the day the ADC held its primary prive. 3 candidates contested: Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amaechi, and Mohammed Hayatuddin. The result, announced on the night of May 27th at Transcorp Hilton in Abuja, gave Atiku a commanding 1,846,370 votes. Amaechi placed second with 504,117 votes. Hayatuddin finished third with 177,120 votes. But here is what happened immediately after. Both Amaechi and Hayatuddin rejected the results. Amaechi described the figures as concocted, alleging widespread voter disenfranchisement. Hayatuddin went further. He boycotted the official announcement entirely, saying he had personally witnessed vote rigging across multiple states. The ADC's National Publicity Secretary went on television to deny the allegations and asked both men to use internal party mechanisms. But the damage to the primary's credibility was already done. In Rivers, Amaechi's home turf, he won with 115,650 votes against Atiku's 912. He also carried Delta and Bayelsa by wide margins. But across 22 out of the 36 states and the FTT, Atiku's lead was dominant. The arithmetic, however disputed its process, gave Atiku the ticket. What followed was a sequence of reconciliation meetings. Atiku visited Amaechi at his residence shortly after the primary. Discussions on national issues, economic hardship, insecurity were confirmed publicly. Atiku joked about Arsenal football. Amaechi was non-committal. A Premium Times source said at the time that Amaechi only listened and said he would consult his associates before deciding. Then, on June 8th, Amaechi returned the visit, going to Atiku's residence for a closed-door meeting. That second meeting is the one that shifted everything. In the days that followed, multiple sources across multiple outlets, The Guardian, Legit.ng, Lagos Post, and New Dawn, reported that Atiku had settled on Amaechi as his running mate, barring last-minute changes. The AA ticket, Atiku from the northeast and Amaechi from the south-south, was born. Amaechi has not publicly confirmed the slot, but neither has he denied it. Now, let us talk about what this ticket actually means, because the surface reading and the strategic reading are very different. On the surface, this looks like a straightforward reconciliation story. Atiku wins the primary, brings his closest rival onto the ticket, unites the party, and builds a balanced northeast-south-south ticket. Clean and logical. But dig one level deeper and the story becomes more complicated. Amaechi spent the first half of 2026 running a genuine presidential campaign. He purchased the ADC nomination form. He contested ward by ward across the country. He delivered Rivers State to himself by a margin that was not close. A man who ran that hard for the top job and who publicly said he would not accept second place does not simply wake up and agree to the VP slot.
There is a negotiation behind this. There are guarantees that have been made. The question Nigerian voters need to ask is, what did Amaechi extract in exchange for this? The answer, based on available sourcing, is a specific promise. Atiku has assured that the vice presidential nominee would have extensive roles in both the campaign and a potential ADC government. A close ally of Amaechi confirmed this. What those extensive roles mean in practice, whether it is a defined constitutional function or a political understanding, has not been specified. That ambiguity is a risk Amaechi is accepting. Now, look at what the ticket is designed to counter. Atiku's choice of Amaechi is explicitly framed by political observers and ADC sources alike as a direct response to the rival NDC ticket of Peter Obi and Obi Kwankwaso. The OK ticket, Obi Kwankwaso, offers a southeast and northwest combination. The AA ticket counters with northeast and south-south. The geography is deliberate. Both tickets are attempting to stitch together the same coalition of discontent from different directional approaches. And here is the historical echo that should not be missed. In 2023, Atiku's biggest missed opportunity was refusing to pick Nyesom Wike, who had real South-South structural power, as his running mate. The internal party crisis that followed cost him significantly. By choosing Amaechi now, Atiku is in effect correcting the 2023 mistake. He's betting that a genuine South-South political heavyweight, not a symbolic pick, is what his ticket was missing. Whether that bet pays off depends on a question we will get to.
The Atiku Amaechi ticket has consequences that extend beyond the ADC itself. For the South-South, this is significant. Rivers State has been in a state of political turbulence since Governors Siminalayi Fubara and Nyesom Wike's alliance collapsed. The Fubara-Wike conflict destabilized PDP's hold on Rivers, created a vacuum in South-South political loyalty, and left many South-South stakeholders without a clear national platform to align with. Amaechi, who still commands deep organizational roots in Rivers and has long-standing Buhari-era alliances in the broader Niger Delta, is positioned to activate networks that no other running mate in this race could access. But the South-South is not a monolith. Amaechi and Wike are political adversaries. Wike's allies will not automatically follow Amaechi onto any ticket. And Goodluck Jonathan, whose eligibility to run in 2027 was confirmed by a federal high court in May, represents a South-South figure with his own gravitational pull that complicates Amaechi's claim to speak for the zone. For ordinary Nigerians, especially in the Niger Delta, the Amaechi pick raises a very specific question. What has the Amaechi political brand produced for the South-South? His tenure as governor of Rivers State from 2007 to 2015 produced genuine infrastructure projects, but it also produced some of the most brutal political violence in the state's history. His tenure as Minister of Transportation under Buhari produced the Lagos-Ibadan Rail, the Abuja-Kaduna Line, real visible infrastructure. But the same period saw defense budget irregularities and a ministry mired in procurement controversy. The ticket asks South-South voters to weigh those records together. For the broader opposition landscape, the AA ticket confirmation forces the 2027 race into a clearer three-way shape. Tinubu for APC, Atiku Amaechi for ADC, Obi Kwankwaso for NDC. The split of the anti-Tinubu vote between two credible opposition tickets is APC's greatest structural advantage heading into 2027. And at this point, nobody is building a serious bridge between those two opposition camps. The strongest argument in favor of this ticket is regional balance. Northeast meets South-South, Fulani and Ijoko Ekwere, Muslim and Christian, former vice president and former governor-minister. On paper, it ticks the boxes that Nigerian presidential arithmetic demands. But here is where that argument runs into trouble. Amaechi went into the ADC primary accusing the party leadership of rigging the exercise against him. He called the results concocted. He described the process as failing the test of transparency. Now he is being asked to campaign on that same party platform under the same David Mark-led leadership and deliver votes in the South-South for the man he accused of benefiting from a manipulated primary. That is a credibility tension that will follow this ticket all the way to January 16, 2027. The second problem is what Amaechi's acceptance signals to other opposition figures. If a man who ran publicly on "it is the South's turn to produce the president" accepts the vice presidential slot under a northern candidate, the principled case for southern rotation loses its loudest voice in the ADC. Voters in the Southeast already migrating to NDC with Obi will notice that. And the third problem is the most fundamental. The 2027 election will not be won on geography or ticket balance alone. It will be won or lost on voter registration, polling unit organization, legal preparation, and the ability to defend results after the fact. And on all four of those dimensions, ADC has not yet demonstrated the institutional readiness that the scale of the contest demands.
3 things to watch. First, Amaechi's formal acceptance. Until he stands beside Atiku and publicly confirms the slot in his own words, this ticket is a negotiation, not a fait accompli. Watch for the formal unveiling date. If it does not happen before the end of July 2026, the internal tensions are still live. Second, how Hayatuddin positions himself. He finished third in the primary, boycotted the results, and has not been publicly brought into the reconciliation process. A Hayatuddin who stays outside the ADC tent and eventually migrates to NDC or APC represents a leakage of northern elite support that weakens the AA ticket before it even launches. Third, Rivers State specifically. Amaechi's value to this ticket is concentrated in his Rivers network, but Governor Siminalayi Fubara controls the state apparatus. The battle for Rivers State political loyalty in 2027 will be one of the most complex in the country. 3 major tickets, 2 powerful internal factions, and a governorship fight still unresolved. If Amaechi cannot deliver Rivers, the entire strategic logic of his selection collapses. The AA ticket is a real political development, not a rumor, not wishful thinking. The meetings happened, the sourcing is multi-platform, the geography makes sense, but real and ready are 2 different things. An opposition coalition that cannot account for how it wins Rivers, cannot manage internal allegations of primary rigging, and is simultaneously competing against a credible NDC ticket for the same voter base, that coalition has serious work to do before January. What ordinary Nigerians must hold on to is that the ticket does not matter as much as the infrastructure behind it. Get your PVC, demand transparency from every party, including the ones you support, because the story of 2023 was not just about who ran, it was about what happened inside the polling units on election day. The AA ticket is now on the board. The question is whether it will survive the pressure between now and the vote. If this analysis gave you clarity, share it with one person who needs to understand what is really happening in Nigeria. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.